What's going on? Yeah, Trey got in this job. And man, y'all get ready for this shit. This got to be a disclaimer, Jack. Copyright disclaimer. Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Look, y'all, watch this. I've been knowing their history for a while. And this is a powerful goddamn history lesson for you. Cause guess what? The white man didn't call us black for nothing. They didn't want you to know who you really is. And I'm finna tell you who you really is. Right? Let me cut you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, I got to shoot the disclaimer on, make sure the disclaimer on now, you know what I'm talking about. So everybody can see that job. Then I can go to you know what I'm talking about. Yeah. Hold on, y'all. Let me get set up right quick. Get enough time to everybody flap in their job. All right. I see it ain't gonna let me do it like that. Hold on, y'all. Give me 1 second. 1 second. All right. Okay, y'all, I'm back. Check this out, gang. Now, all the history we was taught in school, you know it came from your founding fathers. George Washington, you know what I'm saying? Jefferson. Y'all know who called on Ben Franklin. Y'all know who carved on the Rush Limbaugh on Mount Vernon. This the biggest kept secret in the world. And this a big debate be like, oh yeah, we African Americans. But when you pay attention to the history book, you be like, we Indians. And the white man, on the Indians. On the Indians, right? Like, look, check this out. Let's make a side deal with y'all. Let's make a side deal with the Indians. Cause keep this in mind, they already knocked off a lot of tribes. Right? So look, who do you think that was breeding with the Indians? Now look, you know about the $5 Indian Act? That's when the white man this is what the $5 Indian Act is. You could only just say if you were Indian, you entitled to the land of America, right? So the white man knew the law of the land. So what he had to do is, you know what I'm saying, pay $5 and say he got Indian in his blood. Pay $5 to say you got Indian heritage in your bloodline. Cause check this out. Keep this in mind. You had a few Africans in America then. Now look, the reason why the white man had to pull that move because you had Africa, you had a small group of African people there that came from Africa, and they set up shop. You know what I'm saying? And called look, they set up shop in the 1800s, and that's where you get Little Africa from. Y'all remember the documentary Little Africa? When they said they had their own stores and grocery, this in the 1800s. But in the history books, they're going to teach you that that's when the slave trade took off. In the 1800s, right? So they had to mix a lie in there. Cause check this out, you never had proof of slave boats. You ain't never seen no slave boat. The only slave boat you seen is what the white man showed you on motion pictures. Yeah, in Hollywood, where the tree rules, you know what I'm talking about. Y'all see where I'm finna go with this? This finna be the biggest war that was recorded in history. All because the white man. Check this out. Do y'all know who came over here before Christopher Columbus? Amerigo. I can't pronounce his name, but his name Amerigo Vs, some shit like that. You know what I'm talking about? But he was an explorer. He came and he watched the Indians as they grew. They look. I'm finna really open y'all mind up. You want to know why the white man said this the new world? Because when they arrived on this land, the first person from Italy called Amerigo, he said, damn, they got coins, marijuana, tobacco, cotton. Look at all the herbs they got growing around here. See what I'm saying? Cause keep this in mind, they was on the explore to look for gold. So that's why they had to tell y'all in the beginning when you was a baby and shit, the reason why the white man come over here, cause they said it was gold over here. So now you got gold mines that's going in and you know what I'm talking about. It was all about the money. I got a video that I'm finna show y'all. I don't own the rights to this content, but this a real educational tool, gang. I'm finna show you who you is. Why you think when people read certain books and they be like, wait a minute, maybe I'm not African, maybe I'm an Aborigine. Them all Indians names in different tribes. You see what I'm saying? That's why the white man had to say, yeah, let's get these niggas and make them change their name like Kuta Kinte. What's your name? Kuta Kinte? No, your name Toby. You see what I'm saying? You see where I'm finna go with this though, y'all. Yeah, this shit for real. Watch this. I do not own the rights to this content and I don't take credit for this work. I'm using this content for educational purpose. Now look, in the days when I'm finna take y'all back to Pocahontas, but I want you to listen to what Malcolm just said.
shape of your nose and the shape of your lips? Who taught you to hate yourself from the top of your head to the soles of your feet? Who taught you to hate your own kind? Who taught you to hate the race that you belong to? So much so that you don't want to be around each other. No, before you come asking Mr. Muhammad, does he teach hate? You should ask yourself, who taught you to hate being what God made you? Most of us blacks, or Negroes as he called us, really thought we were free without being aware that in our
Now look, I want y'all to take a look at this man. Watch this, how I'm finna open y'all eyes. Y'all see this man that talking? I just want you to keep that image in his head. He got a baby afro, big nose, big lips, big face features, right? This the same thing they showed y'all in when it came to slave movies, right? Check this out.
conscience. All those chains we thought had been struck off were still there. And there were many ways where what really motivated us was our desire to be loved by the white man. Malcolm meant to lance that sense of inferiority. He knew it would be painful. He knew that people could kill you because of it, but he dared to take that risk.
Sacrifice himself just to spread the word.
He was saying something over and above that of any other leader of that day, while the other leaders were begging for entry.
Now look at him. Look what he look like. I'm finna show y'all who y'all really is. God said you got an ear, hear. You got eyes, you got to see it.
Into the house of their oppressor. He was telling you to build your own house.
He expelled fear for African Americans. He says, I will speak out loud what we've been thinking. And he said, you'll see. People will hear it and they will not do anything to us.
Look what she got on her head. Pay attention to who these people is. Look, you so naturally in your roots. And you don't even know who you is, but your spirit tells you. Look what's on her head.
Necessarily okay, but I will now speak it for the masses of people. When he said it in a very strong fashion, in this very manly fashion, in this fashion that says, I am not afraid to say.
Check this out. The reason why I say was her look at her head, because look what Pocahontas wore. Look what the Indians wore around their head, even the females. They said, white man, like, damn, the Indians got the same color as the Africans. So we got the you know what I'm talking about. Wait a minute.
But you've been thinking all these years. That's why we loved him. He said it out loud, not behind closed doors. He took on America for us.
And I, for one, as a Muslim, believe that the white man is intelligent enough. If he were made to realize how black people really feel and how fed up we are without that old compromise and sweet talk.
And remember why this going on. The white man got Looney Tunes just coming out on TV. Marking black people. Putting perverted cartoon on TV. Tom Jerry. You see that? And you got Malcolm X sitting up here seeing all this. Like, man, this is a lot of foolery going on with the world. The white man this, the white man that. Listen to why he said the white man. It's finna go back to your founding fathers that went to war with the chief of the Indians. That's why America say this what made it so great, because of George Washington and the Jefferson. But look, it's a dark side to that too. Cause guess how they got some look how the Indian got some get back. Watch this, y'all.
You're the one that make it hard for yourself. The white man believes you when you go to him with that old sweet talk, because you've been sweet talking him ever since he brought you here. Stop sweet talking him. Tell him how you feel. Tell him what kind of hell you've been catching, and let him know that if he's not ready to clean his house up, if he's
Clean his
not ready
house.
to clean his house up, he shouldn't have a house. It should catch on fire.
And remember, he said this should catch on fire. Don't you know the White House was burnt up? Don't you know your history that the White House got burnt up, y'all, by who? That's why Malcolm X said, yeah, the white man had the opportunity to clean his house up. That's the White House. Watch this.
If he's not ready to clean his house up, he shouldn't have a house. It should catch on fire and burn down.
African dance is similar to Indian dance. You see how Africa dance? Did you see how Indian dance? Do you see their colors? Look at the Indian colors.
On these Harlem street corners, for most of this century, black people had celebrated their culture and argued the question of race in America. It was here that Malcolm first joined the street orators who gave voice to Harlem's hope and its anger.
I taught nationalism, and that means that I want to go out of this white man's country because integration will never happen. You'll never, as long as you live, integrate into the white man's system.
He said, in the white man's system. White man's system is the TV program, television system, your internet system. Now, this the reason that I'm finna show more of this, and I'm gonna skip to the other
25th
subject.
Street and 7th Avenue was the center of activity among the black street orators. When Malcolm arrived, technically he had no corner. So he established his base, you might say, in front of Elder Mishaw's bookstore.
Yeah, y'all got it. The school system, the prison system, you know what I'm saying? The welfare system. Y'all see all that? This, when you think about that, that's why George Washington came over here and was fighting over this land. Because they finna set up a system. They got plans for America. Before America was called America, it's called the United Colonies. See what I'm saying? This real history. This now you finna get to know who you really is. This the whole purpose of this video. Who is black people? I'm tired of seeing everybody ask that question. Who is black people with a question mark on the end? Now it's time to put an answer to this shit. Watch this.
When Malcolm would ascend the little platform,
He couldn't talk for the first 4 or 5 minutes. The people would be making such a praise shout to him. And he would stand there, taking his due. And then he would open his mouth.
They call Mr. Muhammad a hate teacher because he makes you hate dope and alcohol. They call Mr. Muhammad a black supremacist because he teaches you and me not only that we're as good as the white man, but better than the white man.
Cause look what the white man show you in MTV, BET. Look what they do to your rappers, and look what they do to your female rappers. They exploit them. They got a dirty mind. But Malcolm X and the Muslim, they mind was filled with knowledge, spirit, you know what I'm saying, going back to religion. They were taught down from centuries to us. You see what I'm saying?
Yes, better than the white man. You are better than the white man. And that's not saying anything. That's not saying you know where just to be equal with him. Who is he to be equal with? You look at his skin. You can't compare your skin with his skin. While your skin look like gold beside his skin.
What?
There was a time when we used to drool in the mouth over white people. We thought they were pretty because we were blind. We were dumb. We couldn't see them as they are. But since the Honorable Elijah Muhammad has come and taught us the religion of Islam, which has cleaned us up and made us so we can see for ourselves, now we can see that old pale thing to look exactly as he looked. Nothing but an old pale thing.
I came away from that rally feeling that with him, once you heard him speak.
Now, let me go to this. This in the 1800s. Watch this, how I'm finna bust history out the door, y'all. Watch this, y'all.
That they will not be supported in idleness, either there or...
I don't own the rights to this content.
General Order Number 3.
Look, y'all see that? 1865. Think about Christopher Columbus and think about John Smith and Pocahontas. If you was in my line, Pocahontas was kidnapped by John Smith and he took her over there in England. You know, as with Queen Elizabeth there. And next thing you know, she married somebody in the royal family and changed Pocahontas' name to Elizabeth. Right? But you got Christopher Columbus. Now check this out. They said Christopher Columbus discovered America. And everybody was like, why, how he gonna discover America and the Indian was already here? So they had to create a character. They had to create a character. Cause look, they had to create a character for John Smith. Cause John Smith was in the Indian territory and he ended up hollering at the chief and he was good to the chief. And you know what I'm saying? He was teaching him how to survive, right? But after all that went down, being cool, studied the Indians, when he went back to England to report what he had, he kidnapped Pocahontas, and she was 10 years old. And Pocahontas was from a king. That's a big bonus you took from the chief. That's just like going in the White House and snatching Trump's daughter up. Right? But look, check this out. This finna show you our history, because remember they were taught you in school and they said slavery began in the United States What year? They said in the 1800s, it supposed to be 4 million slaves in the United States at this time. Right? So they got you thinking like, damn, they got us shackled up and walking and forcing us to pick cotton in this time frame. Now watch this, what really was going on in this time frame.
The people of Texas are informed that, in accordance with a proclamation from the executive of the United States, all slaves are free. This involves an absolute equality of personal rights.
That's why they said all slaves are free, right? This a trick part about it. The reason why they said all slaves are free, because they weren't never just really slaves. They was other Africans that had money getting into the new world, what the white man told them. So now, when the white man was tricking the Africans to come over here in family, they ain't had no big ass boat. They weren't going there in Africa just kidnapping, going there, white man going there in Africa just kidnapping millions of Africans. Like, they trying to say Africa weak as hell. But check this out. It's supposed to be 4 million slaves in the time period. Watch this.
And rights of property between former masters and slaves.
Y'all see that? The right to properties. The right to properties between former master and slave. Now watch this, y'all.
And the connection heretofore existing between them becomes that between an employer and hired labor.
You can imagine the burden lifted from these people, the men, the women, the children that knew that they were chattel, property, and now understanding that they were free. But the question that was lingering...
Look at the pictures. If you pay attention to the pictures, y'all, watch this.
Chattel, property, and now...
They always got to show you, look, when it come to history, they got to show you, the bad looking the Africans and the bad looking, the Africans, and show you in tall clothes. That's a white man image. But if you go with this image, look how well dressed this lady is and her son. See what I'm saying? That's why Malcolm X said what he said. Watch this, y'all.
Now understanding that they were free. But the question that was lingering was...
There was the trick part, because black people, this the image when black people first arrived in America. It was 20 of them. They weren't slaves. They came over here on the boat with money.
What did freedom look like?
The slaves built this country.
They had a sense of who they were. They very quickly built a sense of community.
That's why they said the slave built America, not through the white man, because we had our own communities. We had our own grocery stores, our own stores, and all this. The white man said, "Ooh, don't show them that part." They say they were picking cotton and shit in the field and shit, and all chained up and shit. So they had to switch it up and pull the trick, be like, well, look, we can't deny they built America. We can't deny that. So let's tell these people they were slaves. And give them a story, say, yeah, you went through the struggle with this shit. This is what the white man said. But look what history really is about.
To what degree have we actually achieved the absolute freedom that Juneteenth promised?
Ignoring these painful histories doesn't mean that they
Hold on, watch this. Hold up. This is where I need to go to. This right here.
Look, did you know there was a government-funded education grant that could deposit $38,070 directly into your bank account?
Speaking of government, look at the commercial. Government grant, they telling you to come to the government. And this is still going on today. But look, let's get back to the point, y'all.
Yeah, that's right. Anyone who is unemployed or currently makes less than $80,000 a year.
What we just seen before I got to this part. Y'all see that? Y'all see why Malcolm X said the white man showing all this filth and he's the devil, he the snake. Who taught you how to hate who? Look, skip him.
Sense of community. A historical marker.
Look, watch
So after being
this.
freed from slavery, a black community formed in West Louisville in the 1870s. It became
What in the 1870s? I just showed y'all about Juneteenth, right? But look what he just said about black people. Think about the Indians and the Africans.
known as Little Africa. It was home to hundreds of homes, dozens of businesses, and schools. But decades later, it started to disappear. The history, though, is still strong. And tonight, here's from some of the people born and raised there in today's Moments That Matter.
We call it the gateway to the South.
Keep this in mind. This in the 1800s when they said it supposed to be 4 million slaves. Right? Look at the timeline. Man, look, Kanika Jinga told me, she ain't tell me, but when you identify the death, God give you common sense to use what you see. She teach me a whole lot to break this down. Look, they said it supposed to be 4 million slaves. Shackled up, picking cotton, getting beat by mouses and shit. And were transported. And then look, at this time, you supposed to have the slave ship supposed to be pulling up at the port and selling niggas all day long like it's Walmart. Watch this. But look how the real truth is.
We had to do the best we had to do, but that's what we lived at.
A forgotten town in today's Park Duval neighborhood called Little Africa.
They just didn't want to entertain that Little Africa existed.
It's where freed men and women settled after the Civil War and the Emancipation Proclamation.
Look, they got to keep saying you was free. Slave to keep your man be like they was slave, like they ran somewhere. Like they was on the run. Man, these folk had money. These folk built a town. Watch this shit.
Where the first blacks to existed.
It's where freed men and women settled after the Civil War and the Emancipation Proclamation.
About 4 parents were the first blacks to settle in there.
Turning what used to be described as a shanty town into a thriving community by the 1920s.
It's self-contained. It had its own grocery store.
Now look. Now check this out. You see they left out a lot of history. First you just said, yeah, they established this community in the 1800s. This is at the same time when they were going to war with the Indians. Right? Because look, this in the 1800s, right, y'all? Watch this. How long, y'all?
It had people who knew how to do a little farming, and it just had everything there.
Today, very few people who grew up in Louisville's Little Africa are still here to tell their stories. I found 2 of them, 79-year-old Howard Breckenridge, who now lives in Texas.
1416 South 36th Street, that's where we live.
Now look, y'all see who he looked like? Guess who I showed y'all who when I said y'all keep that same image and see who he looked like right here.
I've taught nationalism, and that means that I want to go out of this white man's country because integration will never happen. You'll never.
Now look what he looked like. Now look what he looked like. He got the same features. What? The white man don't want y'all to know what's really going on with the race, but I figured this shit out and I said, oh, okay. This type of shit need to be teach. Man, look, I wouldn't even be surprised if they be like, yeah, we need to take a logo, a trade game, and hang this up in the history of the world. Y'all see his facially different. Then watch this. Check this out. Oh, y'all really finna thumb me up for this. Watch this, y'all. I'ma exit out of here. And I'ma go back to Little Africa.
Do you ever wonder how some people who sell on Amazon make a 6 or 7-figure income working just a few hours a week? It is possible because I've done it myself. And sense of community.
And look at his daughter. And look what she looked like. Y'all want to know what she looked like? Look at this right quick. We talking Black history. Right? Watch this. What? What? If this ain't the biggest receipt in the world. Look at this picture. I'm going to blow it up. You see them facial features. You see the skin tone. You know she got the long hair. And that's what the white boy love. That's why she had to be kidnapped when she was 10. But look at the same features though. What?
Unity.
She got the same features. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, look how y'all mind just opened up. Oh, I can look, this get deeper than that. Look who she look like. Look just like Pocahontas. Mm-hmm. And check this out. The white man screwed the history so much. Listen to in her video what she's saying. And she don't even know she could be related. She could be an Indian mixed with African. The Indians bred with the African. So when it came to the land, they said, well, we got to spur the Indian, even though they land them the surviving one. But the ones that breed with Africa, don't get title to that land. We'll just give them Section 8. Even though, look, they got the Indians. Y'all see what I'm saying? The Indians right now got their own little land and shit. And they knew African was breeding with the Indian, so we promised to the land what they signed on. What they signed on, and that's why they promised Africa 40 acres in the moon. But your 40 acres is built around the projects. Hey, y'all. What? Look, y'all.
A historical marker that sits on Virginia Avenue commemorates the
Virginia. Remember Virginia. Remember Virginia, right? Ain't that what George Washington was born at? Now all this going down, you see it right here. 1861. They want y'all to think slavery was going on, but the real power rewriting history and passing laws on the land and going to war with the Indian. This made George Washington a Freemason. They went to war with the Freemasons. Look.
history of Little Africa. It says that the town eventually became Parkland.
No streets are named after those people in Little Africa.
The town was booming with black entrepreneurs owning homes, running their own businesses, schools, theaters, libraries. It was even a part of the state fairgrounds.
We were self-sufficient. They didn't need the outside white.
You see that? This lady look just like Pocahontas. Wait a minute. Y'all think this deep? I ain't even get into Hollywood yet. Cause the Freemason had one agenda about the New World Order, and that's money, labor. And it's kind of funny that you see the Last Supper hanging on his wall behind him. Y'all look, when y'all see Jesus picture, they always had the sun around Jesus' head, right? They always had the sun around Jesus' head. What if that sun was an afro? Replace the sun with an afro. And look what he looked like. Mm-hmm. And then look, check this out. He had white wool hair. How the Messiah look? He had white wool hair. Skin made of bronze. Hold on, but look at Pocahontas, the Indian. Because the Indian hair is long and straight. Sometimes long and curly. See what I'm saying? But look how he looked. That what they said Jesus looked like. And he looked like, I ain't saying that he Jesus, but he got the same image they done scroll him in the Bible, right? His skin was made as bronze. His hair was white as wool. He talked like he was many waters. Look, and then look how she looked. Pow! I wish I could put them together and show y'all what's going on. That's why he said your history is still there. You ain't gotta do nothing but open your eyes and look at your surrounding. Look who you look like. You so infatuated with the school taught you and everything, they were like, yeah, get them suckers some holidays. Get them June 16th. Get them Independence Day so they could pop firecrackers and shit. You know what I'm saying? All this dumb shit, right?
To survive.
It's people gathering to have a good time, and that's what it's about.
But between the 1940s and the 1950s, Little Africa started to disappear.
They tried to do everything to hold it back. This is our history. I was born there 73 years ago. I know just about everything that was built down there and came through there. Knew everybody moved in there.
I said that they would never let another black community have that much power.
City leaders demolished the town to make room for the Cotter Homes housing projects.
What? Don't that sound like the white man came in and just started building shit and call it the projects? But you got to think about it. Look how black people was already. Look, that's why the people was already establishment in their neighborhood. Look how long you remember. Look at the beginning of this video. They said this in the beginning.
So after being freed from slavery, a black community formed in West Louisville in the 1870s. It became
1870s. 1870s, right? Y'all can look up the word project and look at the meaning on it. And he'll tell you the definition of it. That's why they say black people don't read. The devil know you don't read, so he be like, yeah, I got a video. I could just show him and manipulate these people with a video. All I gotta do is edit it, you know what I'm talking about?
known as Little Africa. It was home to hundreds of homes, dozens of businesses, and schools. But decades later, it started to disappear. The history, though, is still strong. And tonight, here's from some of the people born and raised there in today's Moments That Matter.
Born and raised there, meaning they hold their land down until the 1900s. What? Cause let me show y'all what was going on in the 1800s. Before Little Africa got set up, right? Before Africa got a little set up, right? Let's go to this.
This video is brought to you by Amped Up Learning, makers of cool history, games, lessons, and apparel.
Now look, this about Pocahontas John Smith, right? This is why the Indians started going to war with the white man after the kidnapping of Pocahontas. That's why when you do your research and who was all the queen and shit, that's how you find out who Cleopatra was. She was a black queen, and you know, watch this.
Atlantic coast was still up for grabs, so in 1584, Sir Walter Raleigh established the
Y'all listen, play close attention, because this real history. Let me see, do I got chat on? Okay, I got real chat on. All right, y'all. This important to find out who you will. This John Smith. They had to recreate John Smith and Christopher Columbus. Cause you just heard that he supposed to discover that in the, you know what I'm saying, in the beginning, right? Right? So Christopher Columbus had to come in, you know what I'm talking about? I guess they created him. Cause he got the same story as John Smith. Now watch this. When you think of Christopher Columbus, think of John Smith.
I claim this land for England. Seemingly every seagoing country in Europe scrambling to create new world colonies, the pressure was on for England to acquire some of their own. South America was already taken, but the North American Atlantic coast was still up for grabs, so in 1584, Sir Walter Raleigh established the first English colony. Alas!
1584, right? Keep this in mind, right? Watch this. 1584, watch this.
I claim this land for England. What land? All I see is horizon. Yes, well, whatever is beyond that horizon, that shall be England's, and it shall be called Virginia. Virginia? After Her Royal Highness, Queen Elizabeth, the Virgin Queen. Weird flex, but okay. So all of this theoretically became the Virginia colony. Now the tricky part, having people live there. In 1585, Raleigh sent a group of colonists to settle on Roanoke Island. Within a year, weather, famine, and hostilities with natives made it an utter failure. In 1587, Raleigh, learning from his first failure, sent another expedition to the same exact spot. This second attempt not only failed, but disappeared off the face of the earth. In 1606, the Virginia Company had a brilliant idea for a colony. How about not starting it at Roanoke? King James I granted them a royal charter, and they were off. Led by Captain Christopher Newport, the Susan Constant, Godspeed, and Discovery set out for North America, arriving in the Chesapeake area in 1607. This looks great! Easy access to the bay, defendable on three sides. Here, it's a swamp. So, it's literally the only land that the Indians won't live on. So, that's not even a tree. It's a swarm of mosquitoes. Do you want us to settle at Roanoke? Because if you don't shut up, I'm settling us at Roanoke. So they settled at what would be called Jamestown. But who would be in charge? The Virginia Company sealed and kept secret their choices for the colony's leaders, partially to make...
Now look, y'all, check this out. This finna be your history, right? Cause this what all the beef was about United States. When they were exploring it about a year ago, that's from Italy, as we know where the mob come from. The mob, you know what I'm saying, got big hands in the dope game. That's how you could get it on boats. On boats. White man showed you that he on boats shipping cargo. American gangsters show you a black drug dealer. Show you all the cargo. So if you bust the drug kingpin, why you didn't bust the motherfucker, the plug who he got it from? And notice he black. Drug dope boy come in there and flood the dope in the neighborhood. I got that shit, and they get it from the mob. Watch this, y'all.
Sure that those not chosen to lead couldn't back out, and also because they loved reality dating shows. And the final rose for the Jamestown Leadership Council goes to... John Smith? Me? Not you, Don Smith.
Look, why you think he had him in there? This is the same image of Pocahontas.
John Smith? Me?
Y'all remember that? Don't he look like the same king that went to Pocahontas and they made a cartoon and said she ended up marrying him because he was a charming prince? What? Hold on, let's go back to Pocahontas. Look. Here go John Smith. Look, y'all. Pocahontas, a Native American woman. They had this, they had to aim the word America in it. Cause America took, look at John Smith. This who she supposed to run off with. Took her back to England. Him? John Smith was an Englishmen soldier, exploited continental government in the New England, and the author. He played an important role in the establishment of the colony at Jamestown, Virginia, the first permanent English to settle in America. What? But look. So, when you think about Pocahontas in the movie, they try to tell y'all she fell in love with John Smith and ended up marrying her. At 10 years old? Is this making sense? Watch this.
Not you, Don Smith. Considering John Smith had been confined to quarters for trying to incite a mutiny on the...
He got locked up, y'all. He got locked up. Cause he got caught human trafficking. Human trafficking of Pocahontas.
Journey over? This was awkward. I guess you turds are gonna have to untie me now. And it was a good thing they did. John Smith was important for establishing a fairly good relationship with the local Powhatan Indians, though there were occasionally language and cultural barriers. Please don't kill me, please don't kill me, please don't kill me, please don't kill me. Father, what did you do to him? Please don't. Nothing, Pocahontas. I just did the whole...
Nothing, Pocahontas. What you do to him? That's why they always show y'all Pocahontas ran to John Smith when the Indian finna execute John Smith. Cause they were like, wait a minute. Man, there's something up with this white boy. Something happened and he ended up getting Pocahontas, his daughter. Took her back to England and presented her to Queen Elizabeth. And they changed her name to Elizabeth. Right? Watch this.
I got your nose prick, and he started freaking out. Please don't kill me. Almost immediately, the Jamestown settlement faced serious problems. See, these settlers were here to strike it rich, which left little time for other concerns like, I don't know, food. Hey, John, are you gonna eat all of that? Yes, that's why it's on my plate. Okay. It's just I was out looking...
Thanksgiving. When the Indians taught them how to survive on the land, that's when they attacked them. Cause remember, it was the Black Plague came through, right? Watch this.
For gold all day, and I don't have anything to eat. Okay, give me some gold and I'll give you some food.
Nobody had. Y'all remember when the TV was talking about that, it's a gold mine that's in California and shit, and in the mountains, in the cave, but they end up finding oil. But before they found oil, they discovered how, what I'm talking about, live off the land, vegetables. Look what the Indians ate: candy yams, greens, spinach. You know what I'm talking about? They didn't have no, goddamn meat. You know what I'm saying? All in that shit like the white man said. Yeah, put some pig in that joint and get them chitlins too. See what I'm saying?
Can I get some food? You can get out of here. That's what you can get. Yo, John, let me get a bite of your supper. No, it's not my fault you were looking for gold all day. Hey, I wasn't looking for gold. I was hunting for beaver. What do you think of it? Great looking pelt. Why don't you eat the animal it was attached to? Oh, no, I didn't catch this beaver. I wouldn't even know where to look. Traded for it with some Indian guy. Now let me get some cornbread. So John Smith had to enact a new policy. Hey, John, can I borrow a cup of sugar? Read the freaking sign, Donnie. Under John Smith's leadership, Jamestown started to, maybe not thrive, but at least survive, which is quite an accomplishment. So one can only imagine the satisfaction over the colony's progress Smith felt as he slept under autumn stars in a rowboat. And then it blew up. Yeah, that happened. Smith had to return to England for treatment in October.
Remember, John Smith, he the one came out with the song Amazing Grace, how sweet the sound, cause the shit was going down. Look at the Titanic. Look at the songs they played. What? You see how it's going now, Hollywood, with this shit? Yeah. I'm still alive, y'all. No, what's going on? Think about the Titanic.
October of 1609 and never returned to Virginia again. But Jamestown would be okay, right? Welcome back, class. My name is...
Uh-oh. I can't see the jugger, then what's going on? There go the chat. Y'all see they cut the chat off? Now look. I knew it was something going on. I'm like, damn, ain't nobody come in that kind of screen. But look, y'all. Check this out, who they were going to war with. Now look, think about Pocahontas. Cause when they kidnapped Pocahontas, now the Indians don't trust white men and all and call them devils, right? So every time they see the white man notice you had the British, the French, everybody was fighting over the land. Look.
Simply for British sub.
Now, check this out. If Little Africa formed a neighborhood and said they had money, own community stores, they own banking system, Little Africa had all it, and y'all see the War of 1812. Watch this.
Checks were bailed on the mother country and were living here in America.
Native people in the Great Lakes have been battling to stay in the Great Lakes for almost 100 years prior to 1812. And that's part of the bigger picture, that these people weren't being moved out. They were fighting to stay in their homelands, the homelands of their fathers, their grandmothers, their grandfathers, where their ancestors are buried. So it's very important to them that they not be relocated, that they stay in the Great Lakes.
What? Did you hear that? Remember, the black community already established their town, Little Africa, and you know where they located at, right? So think about Indians, Pocahontas, then you got Africa over here, right? Cause check this out. A black woman wasn't having sex with white men in them days. They looked at them as devils. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm gonna use this as a disclaimer. I'm using this for educational purpose on the code of section 107. You know what I'm talking about? Y'all see what I'm going with it now, Jack? You heard it from the white man. Now look, watch this.
We've been here for thousands of years, and so we have very deep roots in the Great Lakes, and this is where we're supposed to be. Within, a couple centuries, your whole world changes.
A couple centuries. That's important, cause now you got to think about the dude that came from the one that named the United as we call it, United States. It was an explorer from Italy. Came over here and was doing research on the Indian. They taught him how to, feed and survive, and he did like a documentary, like what y'all see on today's TV. Be like, yeah, we went over there in Africa where the people in the jungle and shit. Let's see what they say, cause they don't talk our language, and let's see how they survive. You see what I'm saying? Watch this.
In 1812, a very young United States already had its sights set on expansion to the north and the west. But the British Empire, the global superpower of the age, wanted to keep its former colony tightly contained. In the balance were the lands of the northwestern frontier. History is about waterways and transportation. The Great Lakes means that we could ship anything from...
The Indians knew about the lakes and the rivers. This is their land. They found out, damn, we found out the route. So that's why they say, yeah, we discovered the river, and you know what I'm saying? Look, y'all.
Michigan or Ohio into the Great Lakes and eventually to
Ohio,
so it makes
Illinois,
port. So you start
Michigan,
modern America.
British Canada.
Remember, the founding fathers grew up as British subjects who revolted, but the generation of the War of 1812.
Did you hear that? What he just said? Our founding fathers of the British, your Freemasonry. That's why they got George Washington exposed as a Freemason with his Masonic outfit on. All the president did it. Look, let me repeat it again. Cause we ain't got the Hollywood yet.
Think from Michigan or Ohio into the Great Lakes and eventually to the world. So it makes the Great Lakes a world port. So you start having the birth of modern America. Remember, the founding fathers grew up as British subjects who revolted, but the generation of the War of 1812 were the first true American-bred heroes.
1812.
The War of 1812 would decide who controlled the lands of the northwestern frontier.
Who controlled the land? Remember Little Africa and where Little Africa was. Was it in Ohio or was it in Chicago? If you did your research, you would know that. Then they gave you a timeline of when this happened. Now look what they said about the war.
The future of a continent.
The War of 1812 in the Old Northwest is made possible in part by the Ohio Humanities Council, a state affiliate of the National Endowment for the Humanities.
The tree.
And in part by Buckeye Cable System.
Buckeye!
Explore new worlds and new ideas through programs like this, made available for everyone through contributions to your PBS station from viewers like you. Thank you.
face to face in Grouseland, the governor's mansion in the Indiana Territory.
Now y'all heard the governor manager. Now just think about the black people in Little Africa at the same time period as this. So they let you know black people had money and was building and buying land just like what the governor and the presidents were doing. So what a slave was. What was the slaves? They're supposed to be transported. They say it's supposed to be 4 million slaves in the United States, and you still got Indians that the president going to war with the Indians, fighting over the land. And this is the same time the Death Plague broke out. Did y'all know the reason why what made George Washington so great to the United States of America? Cause George Washington, Ben Franklin, and all the presidents that was after him died from the fucking plague in the 1800s. Watch this. Check this out. I'm finna show y'all on Google. Watch this. Check this. I'm finna show y'all this shit on Google, right? This real history. Real history. Man, what's up? We talked about Pocahontas. Let's go back. Man, what's going on? I'll get back to that. Y'all could do y'all research on that. You know what I'm talking about? Y'all do y'all research on that, cause my shit be acting funny. But let's go back to this.
William Henry Harrison was a rising star in the leadership of the new American nation, a territorial governor who would become a commanding general and president of the United States. Tecumseh was a new kind of Native American leader, building a tribal confederation that rejected the treaties and agreements of the past. He focused...
This the Indian, y'all. They were going through his tribe for 3 centuries. This just ain't no war that lasted for 6 months. This shit was going on ever since John Smith kidnapped Pocahontas. Cause Pocahontas' daddy was a king. That's just like taking Shaka Zulu, baby, and taking Shaka Zulu daughter to Britain. See what I'm saying? And look, George Washington just died from the disease, but they try to tell y'all he died from you know what I'm saying, other reasons, you know what I'm saying. But the Black Plague was out this time, and the war still going on.
Instead on regaining his people's land and their pride from decades of white conflict and settlement.
Tecumseh's compromise was no longer any treaties between individual chiefs of lesser significance.
Chief? Who you call the chief? What he said about the chief?
Of the past. He focused instead on regaining his people's land and their pride from decades of white conflict and settlement.
Tecumseh's compromise was no longer any treaties between individual chiefs of lesser significance. When you have to deal with the Indians, you deal with all of us.
When you deal with Indians, you deal with all of us. Meaning that's why they had to try to swipe out all the fucking Indians. They want y'all to believe when the Atlanta trade was going on, they want y'all to believe that they were transporting Africa on boats and shit. That what really was going on. What really was going on is what he just said. The Indians, they try to get the Indians, try to make a treaty with the white man, cause the Indian fucking up the white man. George Washington, he was in the army going against the Indians. Thomas Jefferson was going against the Indians. Look.
Felt now that he could deal with whoever the chief that was willing to get along and give up more land. So finally, that got to be a confrontation in one of their meetings, and almost broke into outright violence.
Remember, they burned Oklahoma down, Little Africa. And you heard what Malcolm X said. They burned the White House down. Look when they burned the White House down. Can you do your history? This is all the war that was going on.
Tecumseh arrives in Vincennes with several hundred braves coming down the Wabash River in canoes. And he camps outside of the town. And at the same time, Harrison has a few soldiers with him. And the
Harrison. Do you know who Harrison is? Do you know who Harrison is? He was going to war with the Indians. Look, don't y'all know George Washington, Ben Franklin, Thomas Jefferson? They was all born in the same time period. They was born now. I'm gonna show you their birthday and when they died. That's why Malcolm X said the white man a devil, cause they telling you your history. You don't see nobody black on this motherfucker talking about some, yeah, what about the Indian? You ain't got not one Indian on here to tell their side of the story. You do not got one Indian sitting here be like, yeah, let me tell our side. Think about Little Africa at this point.
becomes so tension-filled that Harrison has his soldiers beside him threatening to kill Tecumseh if he makes any kind of threatening effort against Harrison.
Tecumseh insisted that recent treaties were illegitimate because not all tribes were in agreement. Harrison rejected Tecumseh's claims, saying that the Great Spirit would have made all the tribes speak one language if they were to be one nation.
And Tecumseh really realized the role of Harrison. And what he tried to do, I think, to counteract that role was to get the Indians to agree.
Did y'all know it's against the law to shave a monkey? Y'all know white men always say we monkeys. But look, cause a monkey got black fur on him. And when you shave a monkey, this is what he look like. That's why it's against the law to shave a monkey. You see them big ass ears like a Japan? Look. Let me go to a chimpanzee. Shave the monkey. No, I know this shit funny, but it's facts. Go to a chimpanzee and look what a chimpanzee look like. That's why the white man said, well, yeah, them niggas monkey, cause monkey from Africans and shit, and they stay in the jungle and shit. What about where the white man stay at? Cause he stay in the cave by the woods. Do I need to show you what a Japan's it look like? Hold up. Let me do it like this. Let me just give y'all the image of this shit. Let me just give y'all the image of this shit. I ain't saying nothing about what the fuck I'm typing in that motherfucker. Hold on, y'all. Go! Monkeys. Man, Google don't want to fuck with me. Look, y'all. Man, monkeys, goddammit. Fuck it, goddammit. Do it like this, goddammit. They mad.
We will not sell. We will not sign any treaties unless we are in concurrence with one another.
Both sides drew their weapons, and Tecumseh informed Harrison that if he didn't nullify the treaties, the Indian Confederation would broker an alliance with the British. Tecumseh is reported to have made an impassioned speech that no tribe has the right to sell, even to each other, much less to strangers. Sell a country? Why not sell the air, the great sea, as well as the earth?
That's what the Indians told him. How you gonna try to sell land that don't belong to you? You might as well sell the air and the sea, the water. Do you see how wise thinking the Indian was? But guess what? He finna bounce back though. Watch this.
Not the Great Spirit make them all for the use of his children? Tecumseh gathered his warriors and left.
This is considered one of the great confrontations. There are all kinds of depictions of this in 19th century history books. It's a very important meeting.
The life journey that both men took to meet each other that day was filled with obstacles and honor. Harrison and Tecumseh represented the hopes and desires of each of their nations.
The principal major character is, of course, William Henry Harrison, whose father was a member of the Continental Congress, a signer of the Declaration of Independence, and a governor of Virginia. Needless to say, the Harrisons were prominent Virginia families. His father dies when William Henry Harrison is 19 years old. And the Harrison family was largely living in what we might call genteel poverty because their plantation had been ravaged by the British during the British invasion of Virginia in 17.
Cause the British, look, the Indians clicked up with the British. Look, y'all, the Indians clicked up with the British. Cause the British got guns. The Indians got bow and arrows. So they knew, like, damn, we gonna need to form an ally cause these niggas got guns and shit. We don't know nothing about guns. We know how to shoot bow and arrow. So they had to form the British and get it landed. Cause check this out. Why you think the British, girl, fighting over the land? And the strange part about it, the nigga that discovered the land before Christopher Columbus named Amerigo. And he the one that named the motherfucker.
81.
Harrison convinced a family friend, Virginia Governor Henry Lee, to speak with President Washington.
See, Henry with Washington. Go back, they was into it with the Indians. Meaning, that's what they went through, covering up history, covering up a murder. They got something to do with human trafficking. Y'all see what I'm saying?
Give him a commission in the United States Army. This results in Harrison becoming an aide-de-camp to General Anthony Wayne.
By the time he was 23, he was considered to be...
Keep this in mind, George Washington died from the Black Plague. Cause you gotta think about it, where the Black Plague come from? Maybe it was the Indians with like, well, shit, if they gonna take over the land, we might as well kill them all and kill us too. And make it a big ass massacre about it. Y'all see what I'm saying? Now this finna go back to Hollywood. Cause remember, the founding fathers got to, you know what I'm saying, establish their cornerstone of the New World Order. So this what the war is all about. Get the goddamn land, kill all the Indians. But they couldn't do that. But they brought African over here instead because Africa had money, the richest continent in the world. The African came in over here was like, damn, we come over here for the New World Order. You said the economic business gonna be booming. They wasn't lying because all your African own gas station and gold and goddamn it corner stores. And then you got the Chinese down here talking about they can get you beautified up. What? The Chinese said, look, the Chinese got control over woman beauty. You the first motherfucker that go to their store and get that 32-inch long wig. What color you want that job, bitch? I need that motherfucking red, fire red. Cause I'm going to see some Pookie Shiesty tonight. You know what I'm talking about? Give me some little ring curls and you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, what you want, boo? Yeah, give me that 32-inch blue, you know what I'm saying? Give me the neon blue, because I'm finna be swinging this motherfucker all around. Look, y'all.
An extraordinarily capable young officer and had been highly praised for his conduct during the Battle of Fallen Timbers in 1794.
Keep this in mind, 1794, and look on your dollar. If you got a dollar right now, hold on, y'all, let me pull it out. Where that John at? When they said, now keep this in mind. We know the federal involved. Now you got George Washington, right? He died from the plague, but going to battle with the Indians. So somebody released a virus. You know what I'm saying? And the only person that released that virus, like, well, you got us in combat. We released this virus to kill you and us at the same time. So the Indians got that kind of commitment. They're probably why they went back to Europe and was infected with the disease. You never thought about that? And now you got the goddamn coronavirus. And look what's going on in social media because a lot of people waking up now. And like, damn, we done watch some goddamn it Dane Calloway. And Dane Calloway said, wait a minute, we not even Africans, we Indians. So it makes sense that in the 1800s, if they going to war with the Indians and you got the black people, Africa came from over there in a small group, not 4 million, you know what I'm talking about, just a little small group, you know what I'm talking about, and came and set up shop at the land that was promised, and they started breeding with the Indians. And check this out. They promised they promised all the Africans and the Indians that will go against their own people, say we'll promise you land and you can you know what I'm talking about, fight against the side of the federal. Now look, the federal was an army, right? So what they did was you trick the Indians and the Africans at the same time. and went to war. Now they got George Washington on the dollar because he was the number one to build the cornerstone. What? He was the number one to build the cornerstone. Look who on the $5 bill when they said about the Indians. The $5 Indians of the white man. What? And look who on the dime on the $10 bill when it comes to taxes. You gotta pay 10%. What? Wait a minute, Jack. Don't get me started. Why you think Benjamin Franklin on a $100 bill, Jack? What? With the pyramid and all the history that came from goddamn Ethiopia at the pyramid? Somebody had in mind, like, we got so much knowledge, we need a land to conquer and to build that structure and put this shit in existence for the evil in this. What? God damn it, Jack. Cause look, this at the same time when the Africans set up in Ohio with their own grocery store. They was farmers. Africa was for, look, Africa is the biggest world when it comes to farming, fruits, berries. Same thing as the Indians. But look what the white man eat. Pigs. What? Pigs and chicken. What? And put it on the menu and say, this is what you eat from morning to night. Cause this how the Freemason got to use their structure with their knowledge and power. Cause when they go to war with the Indians, they had to go through 3 centuries. This ain't like Chicago. It was 80 killers in one night. No, it ain't happen like that. They went to war from the 1600s all the way to the 1800s when they finally defeat and got some of the Indians that still survived and said, sign the truce and give us the land. You been breeding with them Africans and shit. Now check this out. The Africans is foreigners. They ain't got no right to this land. But they got right to this land because they been breeding with you motherfuckers. They been breeding with you. So that's when you see slave movies, you always see the white man rape who? The African. Because it's all about planting the seed about the land. What? So that means if I want to have just say if I want to buy some land and they tell me, well, look, only way you own this land if you got some white bloodline in you. Well, let me take a DNA test. And DNA said, I'm mixed with white and African, but not the Indians. What? You mean to tell me that if Africa was here on the planet while we going to war and we ain't breeding with the Indians? And the African hooked up with the Indians and we're going to war to defend their territory? That's why the white man turned his back on Africa. But like, damn, y'all want to ride with the Indians now? And want to, you know what I'm saying? Okay, well, we finna bomb you bitches up. Watch this.
At Fallen Timbers, Anthony Wayne and the Legion of the United States meet the confederated tribes that have banned to oppose United States settlement west, north, and west of the Ohio River.
The British and the Americans meet separately and draw the U.S.-Canadian boundary through the Great Lakes where it is right now. And the Native Americans find...
Look at the map. You got Canada, Illinois, Chicago, Michigan, all this shit. We know where the Great Lakes is, right? That's why the news always got the report. God damn it, the nigga population in the projects, god damn it, 100,000. Shit. Cause history's still there.
That all of the land that they thought they had been promised by the British at the end of the war, that is, all the lands north of the Ohio River, are now ceded away by the British.
Check this out. The British go back to England, right? So that explains John Smith's story when he kidnapped Pocahontas and took her back to British to King Elizabeth. That's why British still in the fucking world that's running the world. But remember before Christopher Columbus, the explorer, they were from Italy. And he discovered the Native America. So he gave the route, you know what I'm saying? And they said, well, check this out. We got to tell the black people that he gave the route to Christopher Columbus. You know what I'm talking about? Now look, Christopher Columbus was a made-up character to fill in with John Smith's story about the human trafficking, right? So John Smith got prosecuted. He couldn't go back to England and British. You see what I'm saying? Is I'm making sense, y'all? So look, if that wasn't true, why Christopher Columbus had to go back to the voyage to Queen Elizabeth and report his finding, the same thing he did with John Smith. And Christopher Columbus said, when they prosecuted him, well, it was human trafficking because they got the king daughter right here and they married her in the, you know what I'm talking about? It was a kidnapping. What? And they say Michigan territory, the lakes of Michigan. This was going on in the 1800s. 1800s. Watch this, y'all. Look. Hold up. I got to do it like this. If this was in the 1800s, look what they just said about when the black people, the little Africans. Hold on, y'all. Let me go back to, let me see. Do it like this. Go to my video. Watch later. Little Africa. And look what they said.
We buy any car. We buy any car. Any.
Think about 1800s.
We call it the gateway to the South.
We had to do the best we had to do, but that's what we lived at.
A forgotten town in today's Park Duval neighborhood called Little Africa.
They just didn't want to entertain that Little Africa existed.
It's where freed men and women settled after the Civil War and the Emancipation Proclamation.
My foreparents were...
Hold on.
We know that.
Even though the order...
Which one it is, y'all? Here you go.
The Juneteenth order.
The people of Texas are informed that, in accordance with a proclamation from the executive of the United States, all slaves are free.
Now look. This how they cover up history. They knew Africa came over here with the intention about the wealth and the riches. But they didn't understand about the war that was coming behind it, and that was, you know what I'm talking about? Cause the first Africa that came over here was rich. That's why a black man was able to be on a $2 bill.
This involves an absolute equality of personal rights and rights of property between former masters and slaves, and the connection heretofore existing between them.
When they say master and slave, think about the white man and the African. Don't think about slave.
becomes that between an employer
culture and argued the question of race in America. It was here that Malcolm first joined the street orators who gave voice to Harlem's hope and its anger.
I taught nationalism, and that means that I want to go out of this white man's country because integration will never happen. You'll never, as long as you live, integrate into the white man's system.
125th Street and 7th Avenue was the center of activity among the black street orators. When Malcolm arrived, technically he had no corner. So he established his base, you might say.
Look at all the people image that you see on the screen that look like the Indians. If you breed an African with an Indian, you could confuse this race. Because both of y'all look the same. And both of y'all different continents. So check this out. We just gonna call you African American. We ain't finna call you no NODs, you know what I'm talking about? Indigenous Cherokee. The Blackfoot Chinese. You know what I'm talking about? Y'all see what I'm saying? Look, y'all. Somebody thumb me up. Is I'm speaking the truth? Because I'm identifying your race or who you is. The white man told you you black. He had to tell you black because he didn't want to tell you that you would breed with Indian when you first got here. And you start making babies. While they going to war with the land and trying to, you know what I'm saying, buy all the land they can get from the Indians, which the Indians weren't going. They like, no, this goddamn land belong to us. We don't want nothing to do with the white man history and all this shit. And keep this in mind, in the 1600s, that's when the King James Version Bible was released. Now, you got to think about the cornerstone. Like, damn, if the Bible released in 1611, King James Version, and they put the stamp on it, what? So you will understand where the New World Order come in there. It's probably why you got the New Testament. What? What? With Christian name? What? Man, look. God damn it, Trey Gang. The Africans that breed with the Indian, as they say when they come to the land. The Indians. We got to make a deal with the Indians. But the Africans came over here with us and they started breeding with the Indian and they give them rights to the same land. Right? What? So that means the white man had to pass a bill and say, yeah, we white, but we can pay $5 and say we Indians. What? Man, these white folk cold when they come to the bills and pass. That's why all your presidents say, yeah, the number one is education. Number two is health. What? Man, I can't be spilling this tea. Do it make sense now, y'all? Cause look.
They in front of Elder Mishaw's bookstore.
When Malcolm would ascend the little platform.
And notice in Hollywood, they always mock our leaders. Look what they did to Maya Angelou. Look what they did to you know what I'm talking about, Malcolm X, Martin Luther King. Look what they did to the Prime Minister and goddamn it in Africa. What?
He couldn't talk for the first 4 or 5 minutes. The people would be making such a praise shout to him. And he would stand there, taking his due. And then he would open his mouth.
They call Mr. Muhammad a hate teacher because he makes you hate dope and alcohol. They call Mr. Muhammad a black supremacist.
Dope and alcohol, and the white man promote alcohol and dope to you. They even got the president on beer bottle. Yeah, give me a 6-pack of Samuel Adams. Yeah, give me some Captain Morgan. What? And what did Malcolm X say?
Call Mr. Muhammad a hate teacher because he makes you hate dope and alcohol. They call Mr. Muhammad a black supremacist because he teaches you and me not only that we're as good as the white man, but better than the white man.
Well, he mean better than the white man. Y'all remember you used to watch sports? It was an all-white basketball team. Look how they were doing layups and shit. In them old thunder booty shorts. Man, them niggas coming down the lane, goddamn, the shorts so goddamn tight, goddamn, with them tall ass socks on that joint. But when but look when the niggas started coming in that motherfucker, you know what I'm talking about? Donking. White man doing layups, niggas donking. And when we dunking from the free throw line. Check this out. If we ain't better than the white man, why I ain't never seen a white man dunk from the free throw line? Payo! What? God damn it. They said, no, nigga, don't. That white boy don't do it. I ain't never seen a white boy jump from the free throw line. Look, y'all. That's why Malcolm X said we better than them.
Because he teaches you and me not only that we're as good as the white man, but better than the white man.
And the white man told us we better than him. Because they want to get you out of school immediately for your dribble. They can't go to the suburbs. Name me one white boy at the suburbs got a number one draft pick, Jack. What? What? Boy, you see how these white folk play the game? That's why they had to assassinate Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, and John F. Kennedy in the same time frame. They all got killed in the 60s. It's 10 years in the, you see what I'm saying? Look, y'all.
Yes, better than the white man. You are better than the white man. And that's not saying anything. That's not saying, you know where just to be equal with him. Who is he to be equal with? You look at his skin. You can't compare your skin with his skin. While your skin look like gold beside his skin. There was a time.
That's why you got a lot of white female want to tan. You mean if you so much white and with the white community, why you want to get a tan and get that bronze look? Now you got to think about the Caucasian. I mean, the Kardashian. You know what I'm talking about? They got to get the big booty like a black woman. Cause when you look at you know what I'm talking about? What? Is I'm speaking truth? Is I'm telling you who you really are? Cause keep this in mind. The president, George Washington, was going against the Indians. The Indians, you know what I'm saying, brother, you know what I'm saying? I mean, the chief had a son. And when the chief had a son, this is when George Washington was going to war. Don't you know the Indian made George Washington retreat? George Washington was part of the militia group. A militia group is documented. And what's a militia group? If you don't know that, you didn't read. I'm real wide woke on my history. Cause I finally figured out, said, damn, that's the biggest cover up in the world. They didn't want to let me know that I would breed with the Indians because they made a treaty with the Indians, said we agree to give you portion of the land. But keep the Africans out of it. Keep the Africans out of it and we'll give them projects. Since they got your bloodline. Since they don't know and they in the dark, let the government give them Section 8 housing. Pay y'all! Woo! God damn it, Jack, I'm hot. Shit. I see the Freemason scratchery all day long. And they said, Trey, you sound slow. But check this out. You just don't know in the temptation that I went through. What? That's why they said the government knew. They were like, anybody curious about their DNA, go to Ancestry.com. So when they go to Ancestry.com, notice you're going to be breed with African and European. African, European. European mean they was raping us, right? But they can't show you an Indian bloodline in you, cause if you come back test positive from an Indian, you got land that was promised to you. Payow! Woo-wee! What? They let little old me, you know, that straight out of Missouri and bust the whole history? Look.
When we used to drool in the mouth over white people, we thought they were pretty because we were blind. We were dumb. We couldn't see them as they are. But since the Honorable Elijah Muhammad has come and taught us the religion of Islam, which has cleaned us up and made us so we can see for ourselves, now we can see that old pale thing to look exactly as he looked. Nothing but an old pale thing.
I came away from that rally feeling that with him, once you heard him speak, you never went back to where you were before. You had to, even if you kept your position, you had to rethink it. We weren't accustomed
I'm gonna stop it right there. That's why he said the white man. You see the white man giving you history.
He was speaking for a silent mass of black people.
That's why he called the white man devil. Not all white people is racist. Cause you got white people know about racism and be like, well, shit, you know, I'm not a part of this shit. Let me be the most friendliest motherfucker I can meet. Cause look, this when Hollywood came in the fit. While Malcolm X was making this film, you know, it was in the 60s, right? Look. Let's go to my watch list and let's go back to what was going on and why the founding father was so important to this race.
You have joined the sacred order of the stonecutters, who since ancient times have split the rocks of ignorance that obscure the light of knowledge and truth. Now let's all get drunk and play ping pong.
Freemasonry. It's the oldest fraternal organization in the world. For centuries, it's taken good men from the four corners of the globe.
The four corners of the globe. 4 corners of a globe. Can you draw a square in the middle of the globe? If you could draw a square in the middle of the globe, you got knowledge waiting to be discovered how you fit that object in the globe. Meaning you use your mind. Meaning you were curious about this instead of BET and MTV, who got the hottest, who trending. What? What?
And made them better. It has also provided a very large target for satire.
You lousy hypocritical whining toadies with your bleeding Masonic handshakes! You wouldn't let me join with your black boring...
The white man. What Malcolm X was talking about. Malcolm X was on the street like what Jesus did and taught in public. Malcolm X taught in the street in public of the white man deception. While Malcolm X made this same speech, this was on the TV screen at the same time when he was making the streets about the white man. Because black people got to start watching TV and getting their mind and their education from the white man documentary. What? What? Look.
Bastards!
Well, we're sorry you feel like that.
Oh, but if one of you could put in a word for me, I'd love to be a Freemason. Freemasonry upstairs, I mean, I was
The white boys.
But if I was a Mason, I'd just sit in the back and not give anyone...
Secret handshake.
I'm telling you, for years Monty Python
Thunder booty.
set the bar for Masonic satire. But years later, that bar was raised by The Simpsons.
What? Y'all see the handshake they just did in public? Watch Homer Simpson.
Hey, how come you guys got such great parking places?
It's a secret.
Shut up. Hey.
Now y'all understand why Homer Simpson talking to the black man. What? Wait a minute. Now I understand why the Simpsons got the black man said it's a secret. Shut up. What? Man, I can't do this shit. Guess who you is? Who the only black man you see on the screen? Listen to the black man, right? Because your knowledge came from Ethiopia in the pyramids. That's why Moses slid, you know what I'm talking about, one other, you know what I'm talking about. Watch this, check this out.
How come you guys got better chairs than me?
It's a secret.
Shut up.
Because you smarter than them. You don't know what's going on because you don't read your history. You mean to tell me the white man could tell you we don't know who you is, and your answer is who is we? What? But check how he finna watch how the white man finna learn history though.
Up. Hey, you guys want to go bowling tonight?
Nah, we're busy.
Yeah, we got things to do.
Like what?
It's a secret.
What?
Do it.
Look at the flows. Masonic flows. So that means George Washington went before George Washington, John Smith, well, before even John Smith, Amerigo, the one they named the after, he was from Italy. And we know the mob from Italy, Hollywood soda, where the dope come from. You got to go through the mob from Italy. We seen the mob movies. Okay. Boom. History. The Masons had a new world order need to be in effect. So they went to the Indian territory just because of the explorer that was from Italy and told the people how to get there. So this what Christopher Columbus come in at. He a fictional character because he got to, you know what I'm saying, cover John Smith ad. Because John Smith went over there and kidnapped the the chief's daughter, and took her back to Britain, England. Explains why Britain was fighting on the side with the Indians going against the Americans. What? So when they were going to war, they said, shit, we got to lock John Smith up because he got caught human trafficking, and the trace go back to Queen Elizabeth. Meaning this is why you don't hear Queen Elizabeth that much when it comes to the slave trade. Only when you hear about Queen Elizabeth in the slave trade is when she organizing it. What? So John Henry kidnapped the daughter and said, well, you got the daughter and the Indians, you know what I'm saying, finna cause a war and shit. You can't go back there no more. So that means John Smith never returned back to United States. And when you think about Christopher Columbus, he couldn't even return back to the United States. And both of them was in boat wrecks. What? What is this history? What? Look at the 12 tribes when you read the Bible. Cause check this out. Look, watch this. In the 12 tribes, we already know the story. The brother sold the younger brother in slavery. And he had a dream and said, wait a minute, I can have he interpreted his dream. What? When I read my Bible, then go back what they taught me in school, that's the worst thing they could do, to lie to me. Cause one thing God promised, a lie can be exposed. What? And next thing you know, now I know why George Jefferson and they had Ben Franklin on the dollar bill and Thomas Jefferson, and they caught Thomas Jefferson fucking with a goddamn it what? A African and had babies by her. What? And then had her down in the goddamn lower part of the house where he kept her at. Ooh, wee. And all this going on in the 1800s. 1800 when black people in Ohio got grocery stores, come from a wealthy family. What? And they ain't never mentioned slavery, and they ain't told me nothing about Harriet Tubman back in these days until to the older people died off, and the young people, they told them to change their names, and they confused. And so when the white man teaching the history, and they said, yeah, you ain't no Indian, man, you come from Africa. What? I can't do this, y'all. You see what I'm talking about? Look.
Anyway, Lenny and Carl are never around on Wednesdays, and they don't tell me where they go. It's like a conspiracy.
A conspiracy, eh? You think they might be involved in the Kennedy assassination in some way?
I do. No.
And then look, when you go back to the assassinated Kennedy, we know the FBI, the federal, had something to do with it. Now, if you got the federal got something to do with mass murder of Indians, what? Look, y'all. I can show you all the president and look what they died at. Watch this, y'all. Watch this. I'm finna blow y'all mind. Watch this. Goddamn. Now watch this. Look when Ben Franklin died. Watch this, y'all. The Black Plague was in the 1800s. Hold on. He was born January 1790. He was the founding father of the United States at remember when Malcolm X said Plymouth Rock didn't land on nuts, you know what I'm talking about? I mean, he said we didn't land on Plymouth Rock. Plymouth Rock landed on nuts. Look. Let's go when he died. Y'all see how it getting close to the 1800s? Look, watch this. Damn, they ain't never gave me all this info. When the sucker died, that's what I want to know. You know what I'm talking about? Hold on. November in office. Hold on, wait a minute. When this sucker died, goddamn, because they don't want to show that 1800, right? Y'all see the look, y'all see that it's getting close to the 18. They let y'all know Google listening. And they like, damn, Trey ain't finna expose this shit. Look. 1794 independence. Let me get out of there. Let me go to the let me show you when he died. They say he died from syphilis. But he really died from the Black Plague. If you did your history, that's when the Black Plague broke up and it killed all the Indians and the, you know what I'm saying? It killed all the Indians. It killed majority of the Indians. And the white man and all the others, they had to flee from the United States. And that's how it spread to Europe and shit. And to Russia and shit. You see what I'm saying? But look, y'all, watch this. They said he died. Man, I see how smart YouTube is. They ain't even trying to give me the date when he died. We know he was 84. Hold on. American as of his death was at October the 8th, 1793. Close to the 1800. And this is, look, hold on, this ain't Benjamin Franklin. This is Samuel Adams. This is Samuel Adams, and look what he died at. 81 on October 1803. Remember when George Washington was first president and they were going to war with the Indians? While they were going to war, the Black Plague broke out. Why they call it the Black Plague? Y'all, so maybe the Indians released that shit and said, yeah, if you're gonna take over our country, we'll you know what I'm saying, distinguish our race like how they taught us how Saudi Arabia do. I'll run up on you with a bomb on and blow me up and you. What? What? Ooh wee. Look, let's go back. Check this out, y'all. That's just look. Benjamin Franklin, right? Watch this, y'all. Let's go we're gonna talk about Benjamin Franklin, right? Watch this. Let's see all the relations go to this shit. Now look at Benjamin Franklin. January, he was born 1706. April 17th, 1790, he was one of the founding fathers of the United States. What? Now look at 1806, right? Look how many, watch how many of them died in 1806. Here go Thomas and Jefferson. Watch this, y'all. Look. Thomas Jefferson was American statesman, diplomat, lawyer, architect, musician, philosopher, you know what I'm saying? And the founding fathers that served in the third president. This the third president in the 1800s. Now look, when you think about little Africa, when they established their community, what? Man, look, somebody buy me around the bruise, Jack, cause this history is finna identify who you really is. Cause we going to war with the Indians, but you got Africa here. Not 4 million of them. Only Africans that came on the U.S. soil. Them the people that had money. Think about in your town, right? Think about in your town. And you go to your gas station, you see an African there. Or Arab. Right? But when you think about water and seafood, you think about Chinese. Right? Think about Chinese. Look, watch this. He was president from 1801 to 1809. When the sucker died, Jack? 1826. This is the third president. Right? That's why I said the Indian tribe, when you think about a family going to war with another, just say you got Indians going to war with the white man. You thinking the war might last like probably about a month or a week. Now, this war was going on since the 1600s and going against the Indians. That's the big kept secret. It's robbing the Indians at their land. That's why you got Thanksgiving. They were body snatcher, human trafficking. That's why when they showed you in Hollywood, you know what I'm saying, they were like, damn, you always showed us about the slaves that sleeping in your house and shit, and they were well fed and well dressed and all this old shit. But you kept that girl head covered up, but you made the man shave his head. Cause they didn't want you to see that slave master, they were having babies out of wedlock looking like Pocahontas, like you. Africa breed with Indian will make the best, goddamn it. What? And Pocahontas got long hair. That's why Hollywood tradition says shit. Make every goddamn it black motherfucker, if they ain't got no long hair, they ain't going on the screen. We chasing the next Pocahontas. What? Look when he died. Then watch this. Look when George Washington died. He died in 1799. Watch this, y'all. Watch this. This how the Indians down there defeated the white man because of the Black Plague. Let's go to John Adams. Look when he died. 1826. What? You mean all the presidents died and goddamn it? Look. He died. of them died in the 1800s because of the Black Plague. How you gonna have George Washington die? All your presidents die from the mysterious plague. Let's see what happened to the Black Plague. Let's type up, see when the Black Plague took over, right? Hold on, watch this, y'all. The Black Death.
In October of 1347, 12 ships dropped anchor at a Sicilian port. Those who eagerly approached were met with a grisly sight. Almost all aboard were either dead or barely alive, their skin erupting with blackened boils that dripped pus and blood. In horror, the Sicilian authorities demanded that the ships set sail, but though they left, the damage had already been done. The Black Death was now in Europe, and millions would die in what is considered one of the greatest disasters in history. Let's explore how the bubonic plague wiped out at least a third of Europe's population, if not more.
Wiped out the third of Europe population. Wiped out the third of Europe population, but when God cast Satan out of heaven, he took 1/3 with him. What? Man, I'm so glad I read the Bible. Look. Did you hear what he just said? What happened in the 1800s? And I just showed you who the president died in this time frame. Listen what he just said.
And millions would die in what is considered one. Authorities demanded that the ships set sail, but though they left, the damage had already been done. The Black Death was now in Europe, and millions would die in what is considered one of the greatest disasters in history. Let's explore how the bubonic plague wiped out at least a third of Europe's population, if not more. In this episode of the Infographic Show, what made the Black Death so deadly? Europe was hit hard by the plague, but it was not hit first. It was also not unaware of a disease that was already bringing widespread death and destruction elsewhere. Before the infested ships arrived in Sicily, rumors of a frightful sickness devastating the populations of first China and then India, Egypt, Persia, and Syria had spread.
Remember, they said India. It's trick word that when you know a little history, you could use a little trick word with it. That's why they said Christopher Columbus called the Indians on the United States because they look like people from India, from the Indies. See what I'm saying?
Near and far. While no one knew what caused it or why, it seemed to follow trade routes spanning the Near and Far East. Further, when it appeared, it was by all accounts unstoppable. Those struck by the Black Death would begin to swell at the lymph nodes located in their groin area or underarm regions. The growths would soon develop.
What? And that's why they said who died from syphilis? What? And you mean to tell me I can't even make this up? They had to come up with a story like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? We're going to say you died from syphilis because you caught it, you know what I'm talking about? But we see they talking about the Black Death, meaning that the Indian probably knew a plant or something that the white man didn't know and got infected like poison ivy. Who caught poison ivy before? Who allergic to certain shit when they touch shit? You see what I'm talking about? What? Man, look, ain't nobody buying me around the brew for this tea. I'm gonna tell y'all who y'all really is, and this the big trick part about it. Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Adam Sanders, they was all going to war with the Indians. But the president brought Africa with them. Because the Africans weren't poor. That's why they got to admit that Africa is the richest continent in the world. That's why when they show y'all Africa, that's why they show y'all they riches on the content, but they poor, and show you the village and the slum and shit. But this the richest content, right? So they was like, in case niggas, you know what I'm saying, figured it out, we got a story that can line up, you know what I'm talking about, and confuse the public. So this what they did. The white man couldn't go in no village and have sex with an Indian, because that's against their religion, and they don't condone that. Since they don't condone that, human trafficking started. And when human trafficking started, it started with the Indian chief, because you got my prize daughter and you human traffic her into Britain. So any white man that I see, they had to make a truth, because they told them, be like, look, your daughter in the royal family, and she, you know what I'm talking about, with the riches, you know what I'm talking about? Because when you married in the royal family, you got access to a lot. So they try to make her do a treating like that. And the Indian like, nah, fuck that. That's still human trafficking. Any white man step on the soul finna get it. And that's when the war started. Look how many presidents that done died fucking with the Indians. What?
The large blackish-blue egg-sized lumps, or for the even less fortunate, expand to the size of apples. These would then fester and ooze various bodily fluids. Beyond this, those with the disease could develop any combination of a series of additional symptoms. These included fever.
That's why God put a curse on these suckers. You having babies and all this shit and coming out of murder, since you wanna, you know, snatch body and use that body for your purpose for entertainment. I'ma create a disease. And they will show me how you will. What? Now I'm finna make rape kits and get your DNA. Cause look, average man penis is shaped like a snake. It got a head and a goddamn neck. See what I'm saying, y'all?
Pain, chills, sweating, upset stomach, and diarrhea. Almost always, this was followed by death. According to those who observed its effects firsthand, all it appeared to take was a brief physical contact with the clothing of someone who was sick to pass the disease onto another. Though some doctors claimed that it was the spirit leaving the body of the deceased that infected others as it passed.
That's what the white man taught y'all. Now look at the coronavirus. That's why they told y'all to wear a mask. What? They still using the same trick. Man, I can't make this up.
Obviously, at this point in history, the real methods of disease transmission were not yet well understood. Without understanding it, most were helpless to defend against it. Few areas other than some islands cut off from the rest of Europe by the sea made it through the pandemic plague-free. The rest of the population was not so lucky. The bacterium infiltrated virtually every European city's defenses, and
meaning that's how way George Washington died, Ben Franklin died, Tom Jefferson died, and all in the same time period because of the plague. I just show y'all they death record. Why all of them died in the same time the plague going on? What? This y'all history right there, y'all. They went to war for centuries. Look at Iraq and United States. Look how long we've been going to war with Iraq. George Bush said about the drug pandemic. You got the crack. Then his son said, yeah, they got mass indiscretion too. And Bin Laden is a suspect. What? So they had us going to get Osama Bin Laden and Gaddafi, that people that were really trying to help us. But we were so blinded because TV can say Hillary Clinton. It's a small group called ISIS trying to take over the world. What? And they had me trying to say, God damn it, them ISIS motherfuckers got to be cold. Yeah, they look like Iranians. They said they were saying niggas. And these the same people that tell these the same people I go in the gas station, yeah, let me get a fill up on pump 4, please. And they ain't never showed me racism. But now your president said Osama bin Laden is a crook and he a serial killer. Cause look what he doing to his own people and show y'all mass killings, you know what I'm saying, that were filmed on his territory. But they failed to realize that it was a training video that the army was training these folks. What? If the slave trade was big in the United States, and you show me movies how the way we were chained up and picking cotton and shit, why you can't show that same image in Africa? What? Boy, look, I'm heating up, Jack. You cannot show me in one town in Africa that you were kidnapping these folks. Mm-hmm. The reason why they said y'all had to pick cotton, because that's when the white man took over your town and you were forced to labor and pick the cotton. So that means you ain't farmers no more. You work for us. What? Man, I can't stop. So when it comes down to black people history, this is what they didn't want you to know. When Africa came over here with the white boy, said it was a new world order. Cause you never seen in the history movie, you know what I'm saying, the white man, look, the only war that you seen Shaka Zulu went was with the British. Trying to confiscate Africa and they deceded. What? Man, this history, man, when I went to school, I was cutting class like a motherfucker, but I never cut history class. Cause I was fascinated about the white man. They showed me, said they were the first president. And all the pictures they showed me, you know, there were white people in the Bible, show you white angels and the white Mary. And I was like, well, shit, I'm here. What about my history? Like, you know what I'm saying? Tell me something about me. But I had to find out and read books. Look, when I figured this shit out, it was somebody that figured it out before me. And this where he come in at.
And sang it out front on the Devil's own airwaves. And that was an act of war.
When he came off the stage, I jumped off the island, walked up to him, and of course when I got to him, the bodyguards, moved in front, and he just pushed them away, and I went in front of him and extended my hand and said, I liked some of what you said. I didn't agree with all that you said, but I liked some of what you said. And he looked at me, held my hand in a very gentle fashion, and says, one day you will, sister. One day you will, sister. And he smiled.
To make his message clear, Malcolm used his own life as a lesson for all Black Americans. He preached it in fables and parables. And later, in writing his autobiography with Alex Haley, he sought some control over how his life would be interpreted in the future.
I would be rather taken by a statement he would make of himself. He would say, I am a part of all I have met. And by that he meant that all the things he had done in his earlier life had exposed him to things.
Check this out. This is the same man don't even know who he is. He just know the white man said, man, look, your nose big and your hair napping, man. You black. You black. Why? When you fill out your application, they say, is you Black American? African American? Cause the reason why they ask you that question, because they ask you if you African American. Why you didn't ask me is I'm a Cherokee? Why you didn't ask me is I was part of the Indian tribe? None of that. If you don't check that box, meaning you don't know your history. So yeah, give them government assistance. Yeah, the government system, they don't even know they Indians yet. They don't even know they entitled to this land. So let's give them a portion of it. 40 acres in the mood. Since we done promised that to the Africans, they just put that 40 mood and just put all the Africans in one spot on the same 40 acre of mood where we promised them. They can't complain because they still got their 40 acres of mood. That's why you got projects. What? Man, I finna shut this live down, y'all. I got something to do, man. Your real history, you was an Indian. And if you consider yourself an African American, just believe that you would breed with an Indian. And since you breed with an Indian, you were promised to your 40 acres in the mood for you and your family. That's what they don't want y'all to realize. That's why the Indians got casinos. They try to get the casino to the Indians. They say they don't want no part of it. We just want our land. That's why Martin Luther King said, we finna do a march to the White House and say, cut the check. What? What? Do it make sense, y'all? And then look, when the president died from the plague going to war with the Indians, they ain't really knew who was gonna survive, right? But both parties survived, so they had to sign a treaty. Like, well, look, we survived the pandemic. Let's make a truce. What? Keep the Africans out of it, because they don't know what's going on. Why you think Africa, was in the United States owning land? And the biggest story they told y'all when it come to history, look how they treated the white man. We were farmers. Look at George Washington. George Carpenter discovered the peanut. He was a farmer. You see what I'm saying? Look at all the black inventors that built the land. They built the land because it was designed by the Freemason. And this is where you get your president from. What? So when you go to the board of a Monopoly game, that's why the Monopoly game was, complete. Damn. The whole subject of the game is pay your taxes. But if you know the law, you ain't got to pay taxes. So look, since you ain't got to pay taxes, what I mean, like us, we pay taxes. We go buy cars, houses, candy bars, tater chips, food. That's taxes, right? And look how much they make off taxes. But the goddamn it Freemason know, like, well, we already know the taxes is a scam. So we ain't paying taxes because we already know where the 10% going to. It's to us. So when you got celebrities like Red Fox, Sanford and Son, when he decided he don't want to pay taxes. But to us, we like, damn, man, why you ain't pay taxes and you just gonna go broke like that? Cause he just understand the law. He understand the law. I don't need to pay taxes. But he didn't know everything about the law, and that's how the white man trick us. Cause at the same time when the plague was going on, this where you get your your 4th of July, your independence. That's why Abraham Lincoln said this is slave was free. Look at Abraham Lincoln, y'all. Look. Man, look, I ain't finna go into how long I been live. Oh yeah, it been a minute. Check this out, y'all. I'll be back with a round, you know what I'm saying? Another round with this shit. Thumb me up, you know what I'm saying? If I open your eyes a little bit and showing you who you really is. That's the biggest trick in the world. Keep the black people in projects. Give them a government, you know what I'm talking about? Cause when you
Can you been at his birthday? What not?
I'm gonna tell him. Yeah, I know. All right. Now look, y'all see what I'm saying? Yeah. Look, he said, y'all don't know about all the law that's in the government. So we get them niggas African American Section 8, but they gave the Indians the land. You never thought about that while you got your 40 acres in the move? Bye, y'all. Yeah, y'all. And then this finna go back to Hollywood. Check this out. When the 4 founding fathers, you know what I'm saying? What they told you about the 4 founding fathers, this was the compliments they'd achieved.
Zaxby's new signature sandwich is
Some of that goodness gracious.
When scrolling YouTube, you may have stumbled across the occasional nursery rhyme channel. They promise light-hearted songs and innocent fun, perfect for small children and their exhausted parents. These channels have amassed a huge number of views. This one in particular has over 100 million subscribers and is set to become the largest on the site. But lurking behind these playful songs lie dark and disturbing backstories. Rhymes believed to about the plague, slavery, and in one instance, burying someone alive. But do they have any historical truth behind them? Or are they simply urban legends meant to frighten and entertain?
So if it was slavery back in these days, how can they form, you know what I'm saying, little Africa and burnt down the town because they had their own banking system, grocery stores, and they were farmers, and you know what I'm talking about. And the white folk like, no, we the farmers, and you know what I'm saying? What? What? Man, I'm through with this topic. Y'all got enough tea. This should wake y'all up. Not only that, I wouldn't be surprised that another YouTuber content and goddamn it, like, damn, I gotta go live with this shit. Cause he just spoke the truth. Go to Dane Calloway video. Look, y'all, I'm finna show y'all who to go to. Watch this. Hold on, y'all. I got to go to hold on, I gotta go to my subscribe list. Where my subscribe list at? Y'all should know who I'm. Hold on, let me go to this.
Restore what? Now you can see. Now you can see all three pyramids. Now on the further back is the pyramid of Khufu, Khafra, and Menkaure.
Who they naming? He just gave you the names of the pyramid.
Keep in mind, brothers and sisters, that our ancestors had astronomical science, astrology, where they studied the stars and so forth.
Go back to the Indians. They got the same tradition as Christopher Columbus. They where they got their religion from. Pow!
One of the things that's been brought to astronomers' attention is that they noticed that the pyramid of Khufu and Khafra, if you notice right here, are in a perfect alignment. Okay? It's a perfect alignment. But the question is that why would such a perfect alignment and perfect structure where they built the small pyramid of Menkaure off course? Can you see it off course? Yeah. But what they found, though, is that our ancestors were building the pyramids in alignment with the stars. That they were in rhythm with the astrology and the astronomical science of the universe, the science of astrology or the study of the stars. And what they found is that the star system Orion was the star system of Osiris. Remember, the king wants to become one with Osiris. So by aligning the pyramid of Khufu, Khafra, and Menkaure with Orion, and that's why they built the pyramid of Menkaure slightly over and not in alignment, because the pyramids were built off of the alignment of the star system Orion. The star system Ceres was Isis. So our ancestors, in essence, were building heaven on earth. They were taking the science of the stars and building the pyramids exactly as they saw the heavenly body or the cosmological universe. Figure out why Menkaure's pyramid was not in a perfect alignment, but it fits with the alignment of the star system Orion.
What? Then look, let you hear what he just said about the, cause they try to confiscate United States and name me United States cause of Indian. But Chris is cause of John Smith, cause he created a crime and human traffic the chief daughter back to Britain to Queen Elizabeth. To Queen Elizabeth. And that's against saying the world law, right? So they knew what they was up to doing. But look, British, France, and all this. Check this out. They came on the land, were fighting for the land. So the Indians were like, well, shit, we got to make our land with one of our enemies. But check this out. This why Hitler said. Y'all remember they said Hitler was the dangerous man on the world. But guess what Hitler said that was true? He said, why would y'all sit up here and talk about all this shit about of me, and you going to war over there in the United States, and you got the most precious things to God is a Jew. What? What? And they made you look like Hitler was out his crazy because he said he want to keep his race purified. Because he want his race to be purified. Just like the black man Shaka Zulu said, I want my race to be, you know what I'm saying, purified with the same bloodline. We ain't interbreeding. You see what I'm saying? Because if an African fall in love with, you know what I'm saying, the op, she will adopt his religion. What? That's why God said in his Bible in the Old Testament, it's not good to be you know what I'm talking about? Fornicating and having babies out of wedlock because it destroys this. Man, look. I'll be back, y'all. I'll be back. These is all facts. This is the reason why they didn't want to tell y'all Indians. Because if you go, each individual in my chat, you got enough knowledge to go to the office of the White House and said, man, I got any Indian heritage in my blood. Not what I know, but I got it in my blood, and I know what the Constitution right said, what land you promised me. So I'm waiting on my land. Like Martin Luther King said, cut the check. I'll be back. I'll be back.